Kommer nu. Vi vil lave nogle tests af nogle forskellige måder at filme på. Vi er ikke helt sikre på, hvordan det skal se ud. Filmen må gerne have en lidt kaotisk stil, så derfor så prøver vi alle mulige forskellige måder, man kan manipulere med billedet på, uden at det ses.
Den hedder Malo. Den kommer fra Sverige. Den er bygget i England. Den gør det muligt for os at bevæge kameraet i rummet, fuldstændig styret af computeren. Og den kan så flytte sig selv i forhold til kameraet, uden at flytte kameraet, eller omvendt flytte kameraet rundt i rummet, så vi kan få det ind og ud af computeren og bearbejde. Så til sådan en test som det her er det et fantastisk instrument.
Hvad er det?
Jamen, jeg har store forhåbninger til, at det her bliver fantastisk, men jeg ved ikke, hvor meget jeg har at have mine forhåbninger i. Det er jo så vist sig.
Hvad er det? Hvad er det?
Det er.
Jeg har slet ikke lagt mærke til, at der var det i, tror jeg.
Jeg vil gøre det, skriger. De skal dø.
Hvad mener du?
Hvert 100 år, hvert 300 år, så er der et, der bliver sådan. Kun et. For hvert 100 år. Der får lov til at leve et. Hvis de endelig slår rod, så kvæler de hinanden. Alligevel. Det er jo også derfor, de skriger sådan.
Skriger de?
aquí tus trailers, visita mi canal.
It's not so pleasant. If you experience an attack, anxiety attack, it's very unpleasant. It does a lot of things to you physically that will make you sure that you are dying or worse.
Do the breathing. Hold. Exhale.
It's something I've suffered from since I was 6 years old or 4 years old. The good thing is that you can get you can get some knowledge on how it is expressed or what symptoms you have, but it's still a terrible situation that I still hate when it comes. Maybe I have not used my anxiety so much, but I have used a lot of image material that has that I've left over the years, and this is material that goes way back to when I was much younger.
Good. What is everything like around you?
Green. It's all very green.
I do a lot of shamanic journeys, and a lot of the images in this film have kind of been brought back from journeys like that, which is a mental journey.
I walk into it.
Working with a person who's actually using his dreams as input for the visual side of the work you're doing is really fascinating, and it's just I feel very lucky to be able to work with this project and with Lars in general, because he's so direct about what goes from his mind and into the paper and onto the final movie.
No.
This time, since I had this personal crisis of depression 3 years ago, it was therapy in the sense that I was pretty sure that I should never make another film, or couldn't. So it's therapy, just the fact that there is a film.
Do you love me?
Yes, I do.
Help me.
The form of therapy that takes place in the film is a therapy that I've followed for some years and worked with. And of course, since it's me, it's quite sarcastic, the way it's been described.
Easy. Never screw your therapist. No matter how much your therapist may like it.
quite provocative because obviously Lars, I could quite clearly feel that Lars is very affected by anxiety, as we all know, and he does nothing to hide that. And I am pretty much in the other direction, so it must be fucking provocative for him sometimes to have a person who is understanding or trying to understand his script and trying to understand that domain and that world of thought that he takes you to in his film. But I do ideally want to have a good laugh every day, even making something really seriously, even making something really serious and petrifying and full of anxiety. I think it's important to try and maintain some kind of distance or humour as well if you can, because otherwise I can't survive in it, because the world just gets too dark.
The main part of anxiety is physical. Dizzy spells, dry mouth, distorted hearing, trembling, heavy breathing, fast pulse, nausea.
This is Eden, our little cabin in the woods, which is where they go to after the tragedy, the death of the child. And this is a cabin which is actually 100 years old, and I found in Norway, and this took it apart and transported it here. You want to come inside?
Callie, I worked with Callie also since Dancer in the Dark. I think I worked with him early on. I made a lot of films with Callie, and I'm very happy for his work. He can, with very little, he can achieve a lot.
Lars, are we still looking loosely for what could be any scene, or are we thinking?
Yeah. But right now, I think this little opening in the woods could be here.
Okay.
The reason why it's they have to kind of be different, all the locations, so that's why we have to sit also, look at some pictures and say, how are we going to model this? Yeah.
To find the spot, which was very difficult. You shouldn't think it was difficult to find a spot in the forest where there's an oak tree, but it was. And we went for many location scouts, and we ended up finding this place without the oak tree. So he built the oak tree, but only the lower part. The rest is done in CGI.
The location for the cabin we scouted extensively because we needed a very distinct layout, and it all had somehow to fit together. And I think we looked at about, I don't know, 25 different little patches until we finally found this one. The good thing about these cabins, they are almost like a kit, you can say, because all the locks are numbered, and we just put it on a truck, drove it down here to Germany, and put it up very quickly.
First of all, it was expensive to build a new one, but you can't give it the patina, that it gets from being a real old hut. No, it was that was a very good idea.
This is the bedroom. This is an extension we actually built to the original cabin. So we had a little more space to film, and it also called for a separate bedroom in a way. This was a wall, and this was like two rooms, and we cut up this opening here.
I became afraid, and I stopped writing.
What was different the last time?
You can say the veranda is typically American. It gives it a little bit sort of a cowboy style or a western style. And usually in America they use round logs, and our logs are square, but I thought the guy who built it was a Norwegian immigrant. So he sort of built it a little bit, which I'm sure they did, in his own style.
We had to place the cabin there, and that, of course, you had to take a truck in and put it there. And the nature had to grow around it. So we had to place it there in the winter, and then came spring, And that's when all the nature is supposed to come up around the hut, the cabin, and it started doing that. And then suddenly I got this phone call from my German co-producer saying, we have trouble. And I was like, oh, what is it? It's a bird. It's nesting very, very close to the cabin and the location that we had spent months finding. We have to shoot somewhere else because you're not allowed to be within a radius of 1,000 meters of this bird nesting. So what I did was I sent Lars in his camper to Germany again to go on location scouting that same weekend and found another spot.
This stupid stork that suddenly decided to build a nest where we had just made a road to take in the hut. So, but we found another place, and there were no stork, or anyway, no stork that we saw. So.
Da jeg fik det her manuskript i hånden, eller den første pitch, var det jo faktisk bare en ganske kort beskrivelse af, hvordan historien engang ville komme til at udfolde sig. Så tænkte jeg, at det her det er nok det mest spændende, eller mulighed for det mest spændende lydarbejde, musikarbejde, jeg har været ude for. Vi har prøvet at finde en anden måde at lave en gyserfilms lydside. Det er jo heller ikke en rigtig gyserfilm, kan man sige, men vi vil prøve at finde en måde at skabe ubehaget, som ligger i historien og hele det her psykologiske lag. At tingene er bare forkerte, og det presser en. Det vil vi lave med en blanding af lyddesign og en form for musikalsk underlægningsmusik, som kom til at bestå af ikke-instrumenter. Instrumenter, som vi selv har gået og opfundet. Det er simpelthen... Det har vi brugt rigtig meget. At puste i de her. Både når de kan og ikke kan. Nu går det rigtig skidt i dag her. Det er... Konditionen, vi satte op for os selv, var, at vi skulle bruge organisk materiale. Vi må bruge sten, vi må bruge vand, vi må bruge stemmer. Så gik vi jo i gang med at samle alle mulige mærkelige ting ind. Vi havde det her, vi havde dagens lyd, så vi mødtes en halv time hver dag, mig og Lars, og det gjorde vi et par måneder, hvor vi så simpelthen slog på en sten, brækkede nogle grene, skurede med sten mod sten, fløjtede i bladstrå. Der har vi så en af de gennemgående lyde, vi har brugt som... Det er en kombination af en masse... I virkeligheden en masse, blade, som vi har stået og blæst i forskellige typer. Og så har jeg loopet dem og lagt dem sammen til en lyd, men så blev den samlede lyd, kunne man lægge i forskellige lag. Det var ikke hver dag, at vi troede på det. Det var det ikke, fordi det var ikke lige interessant. Men langsomt fik vi ligesom bevæget os ind i, hvilke typer lyde, der var interessante, og så fik vi ligesom skåret os ned til at gå efter nogle specifikke ting. Der har vi så puttet ind i sampleren og spillet på alle mulige sjove lyde. Det her, vi lige sad med her, var en enkelt lyd, som jeg har lavet med hestehår og hen over nogle tynde grene, som så i virkeligheden er sådan meget, meget høj lyd. Den originale lyd er oppe i den der ende, og når man så tager den langt ned i nogle oktaver, så bliver det noget mere så dystert. På et tidspunkt snakker vi om at optage kroppens indre også. Så der havde jeg gang i at sluge en lille mikrofon, få den godt ned i her. Så det ubehag, det gav, og de bevægelser, de lyde, der er derinde, har jeg så optaget og samlet også Men det behøver egentlig ikke at blive kørt så meget ned, fordi det virker ret effektivt og ret ubehageligt i sig selv. Det lyder, det er jo sådan strømmende blod, og man har en fornemmelse af åndedrættet, der ligger og kører i baggrunden, som jeg så har brugt i for eksempel visualiseringsscenen, hvor hun hopper tilbage i, eller hvor han taler hende tilbage.
Imagine you arrive at Eden through the woods. Tell me what you see.
I'm at the bridge. It's evening. Almost no birds can be heard.
Epilogen og prologen er Händels Rinaldo, eller en part derfra, som vi havde ledt meget efter. En arie, som skulle ligesom være det her følelsesfulde musik til de super slow billeder. Og der havde vi fundet en version, som Bartoli havde indspillet, og den var så blevet brugt i klipningen. Men den var altså tempoet var helt fantastisk, men den var lige lovlig pæn i virkeligheden. Den var lige storladen nok, og vi kunne godt tænke os en anden version. Ja. Det kommer an på, om vi kan holde, eller de kan holde tempoet. Så det kan godt være, at det bliver klippet sammen flere.
Lars, du må ikke lade det op. Nej.
Det går jo helvede til.
Ja, jeg kan godt mærke det. Ja. Jeg er nødt til at være lidt høflig, når der er kamera på.
Ja, selvfølgelig. Det er det. Vi fandt en metode, hvordan vi kunne finde, eller få optaget det med samme tempo. Altså, vi lavede et click track, som fulgte. Altså, det er meget rubato, sådan et, klassisk stykke, så det går lidt op og ned i tempo, så man kan ikke bare finde, hvad tempo det går i, og så indspille det der. Så vi lavede simpelthen et flydende click track, der sagde op og ned i tempo. Og det havde Bjarte så i ørerne, så han kunne dirigere orkestret, så det ramte samme tid og på de samme cue-punkter, som i den version, vi havde brugt i masken.
Så det var en veldig skizofren oplevelse, hvor man virkelig opdager at hjernen er delt i to. Jeg synes men det var en stor og flott utfordring, men det gikk super. This was the first time. How does it feel?
It feels okay, but I mean, I guess it feels more rubato because it's not our own rubato.
Yeah, not yet.
Men det bliver lidt stift, når man spiller. Det var vi godt klar over. Så til sidst så bad Bjarte om at få klikket væk, og så prøvede de at lave en version uden klik. Og der havde de simpelthen spillet det så mange gange med klikket, at de faktisk ramte det ekstremt præcist i forhold til, hvordan den originale version var. Så det var virkelig fantastisk.
Men hvis vi var raskere, skulle klikken helt svart.
Så i den fri, eller hvad? Ja, jo.
Og så gjør vi simpelthen sånn
at du
så det jeg kan starte,
tæt på.
Ja, så det starter riktig, og så har jeg en liten referanse, men jeg forsøker å
være fri. Ja, simpelthen.
Det lyder lidt for pænt, altså.
Lidt for pænt?
Ja. Kan I ikke lave noget mere larm?
Ja, jo.
Ja. Det er bare en lille smule. Fordi det er ligesom...
Det er sådan generelt, eller?
Jeg ved ikke, om det er noget, man kan gøre med buen, eller et eller andet, der bare sådan det... Ja, tak. Ja, lige præcis. Men bare et eller andet sådan, så det er næsten for pænt, altså.
aquí tus trailers, visita mi canal.
Efter jeg snakkede med Parte, violinisten, som havde set det, fik jeg indtryk af, at han var meget, meget rystet bagefter. Og så tænkte jeg, at det er vigtigt for mig at vide, altså lige præcis hvad der sker. Men det er vigtigt for mig at vide, lige hvor i musikken det sker. Det vil ikke nødvendigvis gavne mig at se, hvad der sker. Fordi måske skal der være en kontrast mellem det, man hører og det, man ser. Så jeg tror ikke, det vil berige min sang på nogen måde. Måske tværtimod. Og derfor så lød jeg være. Og så glæder jeg mig bare til premieren.
Der sker alle mulige unævnlige ting.
Ja, lige præcis. Ja. Og så tænkte jeg bare, jeg er jo mor til 2 børn og sådan noget, så er en fartsjæl.
Så kan du sagtens tage det, hvis du er mor til 2 børn.
Nå, okay.
Jeg er jo far til 4 børn, jeg er virkelig nem med det. Det er kun de barnløse, der er sentimentale, ikke?
Nå, okay, ja. okay. Så det er ikke så slemt.
Men det var ikke det, Bjarte sagde. Hun har jo en fantastisk smuk stemme, så hun indgik jo i vores score sampler. Du kunne lave fra så dybt du kan, uden at anstrenge din stemme.
Bare et
Ja, og så tage en kvint op, indtil du når til dit der, hvor du synes, nu det bliver for højt. Ja, præcis. Og det har vi også brugt på loftet, er hun den svævende dame, der kommer ind med toner. Den største udfordring ved at lave det her lydarbejde har været ikke at ramme en kliché for tydeligt, sådan så at man at det var fuldstændig genkendeligt som noget, man har set før. Så man ikke prøvede at gøre det uhyggeligt, sådan wow! Altså, fordi det er ikke det ideen er med lydsiden. Altså, ideen er at lægge det her psykiske pres eller ubehag. Og det synes jeg, der er less is more.
My name is Ota Baresh and I own some company in Prague and we supply animal for filming, for movies and for commercial. I know some small zoo garden and we have a couple of animal and also with me works other 4 guys which are also trainers. Main famous animal I guess are ravens, which we have flock of them and we use them for feature films, for different scene like flying from one place to another, or be somewhere, sit somewhere, landing somewhere, or landing from something, action like this. But they are very clever because we starting work with them from babies, so they like people.
Unime.
Sat.
Unime. Pollo. Pollo. Unime. Unime. Unime.
You know, it's all problem solving and it's all kind of ridiculous fun toys that you got to root somehow with some sort of emotional commitment. So I like that. Although that bird just bit the shit out of me, I can't tell you. It was one of the more... this film wasn't always comfortable.
That's a big challenge for me, for us, because there are 3 animals, like birds, crow, fox and deer, and they should be together. Specialty deer, which should have some stuff on his back, which was a big challenge for us. The main problem with her is because we don't have time starting work with baby, which we can have from very small baby. So she was like 8 months old if we starting, and the animal is not so good with people. Like if you have the animal from babies, they follow you, and born with people, it's the basic things. It's more easier because he know people, he know apartments, everything.
When I read the script and saw that it involved some forest animals, I was very happy because I knew Ota already. It was just very clear to me that we had to get hold of Ota and find him and find out whether he was available, because I knew that he had been working with like forest animals before, and that he had experience in working with animals that basically can't be tamed, like the fox.
In the beginning, we just starting like catch her and put her the collar on neck and walk with her on the leash, which we spent many days on this. And then if she's starting to be fine with this leash, we just put on her some harness. And we did that every day, twice in a day for a couple of minutes, and then we do that longer and longer. And afterwards, we put on this harness some things, some toy, which looks a little bit like small baby deer, and we should do that every day, many weeks. But in the beginning, she was very crazy and upset because. It's not comfortable for an animal like that, put something on his body.
Yeah, but in practice it was Peter Hjort who did most of the work with the animals, and he was a good friend of Ota's, and they worked tremendously. Very professional animal caretaker.
We have here through three deer, because in the beginning we have 2 for choose which one should be better, and now I keep them because they feel much more better if they have break, like be in group. So that's why.
He also sort of asked to have a large part of the animal stuff taken to the second unit, which is like a smaller film crew working alongside the big film crew, which means that we could be a very few people around the camera and we could have some very rigorous procedures.
It depends with what kind of animal, like for example with ravens or crow on this project, it's important not to have food and drinks on set, because they know that immediately and will eat everything, and because we did it, all this action for food, so it's important for us keep them hungry a little bit.
Ota really has this ability to tell people exactly the limits of what he can do with his animals, which is very good, because Some people may want to appear professional, like I can do everything with these animals, but Ota is not like that. He's more like the opposite. He's a professional because he says, there's no way I can do this with my animals. And then you work your way to a solution.
We prepared the fox for tomorrow, which we will do some action like she's biting herself, and so we should keep her a little bit hungry. So we train her a little bit like a cat. She's trained for buzz, and she can stay, sit, but it depends how hungry she is. If it's too hungry and prepared for buying herself, it's more aggressive and wild. For this movie we have prepared some pieces of beef, and we put the meat on his legs below this. Then you can see it, and she's starting bite that, and we put on her also some artificial blood, and that looks very good. So. Zůstaň, stay.
They used animals in a very mild way, you know, not by surprising them or anything. It was kind of, they were trained to do exactly what they did. It was surprisingly easy to work with these animals.
With some directors, you know exactly what the angle is going to be and how it's going to be filmed. But with Lars, it's something about just preparing generally for the scene. You know, when you have the grinding wheel going through Willem Dafoe's leg, we just figure, well, we don't even have to really almost discuss it with Lars. We need a fake leg somehow. We know that, and we need a fake grinding wheel, and we need some different things, and we just bring it along, and we take it from there. Yeah. But of course we explain to Lars, this is what we're going to bring. So I went down to Germany and I cast his leg. So we had his leg in silicone, and we made it sort of nice and soft and with a bone inside, so it could move about a bit. Willem's pants go down to here, and she drills a hole right through the silicone, which kind of moves very much like human skin would, as you can see here. You're really secure that he'll only use the good stuff. Yeah, that's quite clear. That because for some directors you do have to worry if you film something that doesn't look good, say it's too close. But Lars is very visual like that, and he, so we feel very safe with filming things. Lars likes to do long takes, so we try to make it easy for him to film long takes with the different effects.
The scene with the leg was really long, actually, but cut very clever, so everything worked. But there were big passages, that you could say that they maybe not work as good as they could have done with the fake leg, because it was not meant for that picture. So, but he's really good at choosing everything that's right, even from a long shoot.
And then, of course, we had the whole thing about this grinding wheel being strapped to Willem's leg. So what we did is we made two with different weights, two fake grinding wheels that are really lightweight. The real one weighed about 10 kilos, and this one here weighs hardly anything. And then we did another one, which is the one we used, like this, that weighs 4 kilos. So it's lighter than the real one, but still kind of heavy. This was then strapped to Willem's leg under the pants, kind of like this. And he would carry that around.
Okay,
We had a lot of stuff with the deer.
Yeah, and a lot of talk with the animal trainers about how we could attach this fake features to the real deer.
He had a lot of requirements about how we could, what we could put on.
How heavy it could be, and
I think it was 1 kilo max.
Yeah,
and he was training in Prague somewhere, I think, with this deer with. It was a Kermit
a harness with a frog. Actually, maybe not Kermit, but a fat frog in a way.
Yeah, a toy frog. And he sent these scary photos of a deer with a harness and a toy frog in it.
Yeah.
So the animal could get used to carrying something around. And of course, when we got there, the deer still freaked out pretty bad. We ended up using a nylon stocking to put the animal in, simply because it was very strong and it would hold well, because the deer would jump a couple of meters into the air when it got it on, so it had to be pretty strong. And this was secured to the harness, and the rest was fixed by Peter Hjort digitally afterwards. So the important thing for us with this was that the head sort of could swing like this, so that when it ran, this would sort of swing about. And that you really do see in the film, that the head is swinging like this.
Tus trailers, visita mi canal.
With some things, Lars was very specific. For example, the boy falling out of the window. He wasn't interested in getting a very articulate, realistic doll with a realistic face that looked like his. And for that, he was only interested in getting something for a very wide shot that could work on a distance. So the head and the hands and the feet for the baby doll was just like a mannequin.
Yeah.
And the only thing we worked on there was getting a realistic body that could move realistically. This is the dummy we made of the boy that falls out the window, and it's not a very very exact doll. The head is very bad, and it was basically just made to sort of move like a real child would, so it can sort of fall in a realistic manner.